Tuesday, I just finished my second workout, LA Fitness. And then earlier prior, I did a 50, 55, 53-minute bike ride. And LA Fitness was interesting. Um, it's taken me to do a 25-minute workout. By the time I left till now, it's been probably an hour and a half. And part of the issue is I found the closest LA Fitness. And the closest one is, they said, like 18 minutes away. Okay, no big deal. 8.8 kilometers. When you think of 8.8 kilometers, it should be like no time, like 10 minutes to get there by car. But because of the lights and everything else, it takes a little bit longer. This is, California. And actually, it's even worse in Los Angeles. I remember, 8 kilometers on the map would take like 35, 40, 50 minutes to get through LA. So anyway, no big deal. I find the LA Fitness, I go, I sign in, kind of a fancy one, looks, it was in a beautiful mall, and parking was in a parkade, and, it took me a bit of time to figure it all out, and it didn't look like all the other LA Fitness that I go to, but no big deal. So I check in, I get changed, and as I'm walking out to the gym, the girl at front who kind of scanned my card, she calls me over and says, you're not a member of the Signature Club. Where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from Canada. And she goes, well, for you to work out here, it's going to cost you an extra $10. And I'm like, okay. She goes, this is a LA Fitness Signature Club, like it's some high-end club. And I went to the washroom there, to the change rooms. There's nothing fancy there that I saw. Anyway, you can work out here, but it's going to cost you $10. And I'm like, there's no way I'm paying $10 to do like a 20, 30-minute workout at LA Fitness. So I found the next closest one, which from them was, I don't know, 3-4 kilometers away. So I go to that one. It's a nice one. You can, you don't have to go to no parking tower and all the rest of it. You park in front of the building like any other, but it was nice. And I did my workout. So now I'm on my way back from my workout, and I was looking at the map, and it's like 34 minutes away from where we're staying. So I'm like, man, I've got to go there twice a week, Tuesday and Thursdays, to work out. It's 34 minutes one way, 34 minutes the other way. So there's an hour of travel to do a 25, 30-minute workout. And, so bottom line is, I saw that they had some 24-hour fitness near us, some other stuff. I'm not sure. I'm going to look into, I've never been to, I don't know if they have this Crunch Fitness. I watch some of these channels with people that are van life, and they all talk about Crunch Fitness, whatever it costs them, I don't know, $10 a month or something like that. And they all go in there and they do their showers and that sort of thing. So I'm going to see if there's something that's like $10 a month near us that I can sign up for, because I do not want to drive 34 minutes each way to go work out. When I do that, I say to myself, man, I could have done an hour bike ride. The one thing, Alice, she brought weights. She bought, she does her own weights, her own thing. She's got a schedule. She's just like I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And, it takes her like 20 minutes or so. But she bought these weights off of Amazon that you fill with water. So I see them in the bedroom. I'm starting to think maybe I should start using them. And, they're not super heavy, but I guess I can compensate by just doing a high number of reps. But she's got me thinking about that. Earlier today, I did a bike ride I found this trail Oh, what's it called? Something West. My memory is horrible. Anyway, it was 1.7 miles from where we live, and it's off the beaten path. There's no cars, and it was nice. And I think when I read, it said it goes 12 miles long. But I couldn't find probably the last 8 miles. I think it crossed over some roads. So anyway, I got a little discombobulated, which is another word for lost. And thank goodness I had my Waze GPS, so I was able to put in where we lived and get back home. The one thing that I love about Orange County, Newport Beach, is the amount of bike lanes. Every single road. It's actually rare to find a busy road that does not have a bike lane, and not just a single line between a bike lane and the cars, but like double lines, twice the amount of distance that you see double lines in Costco. It's totally amazing that they do this. And so it was good, though. It was a great ride. The roads are absolutely fantastic. The one thing, if you've been following the vlog, I built my own training schedule with the help of AI. And I did a bit of an exercise. I used all the major AIs. I put in the same data and I said, create me a plan. And I know a good plan when I see it, because even though I'm not a coach, I haven't taken coaching, I've done so much training over the years that even though a coach writes a plan, I intimately know what that plan feels like. And I know what speed work is after this. I know where you do brick runs, where your heart rate should be. I know what a good plan, or what a solid plan looks like. So when I put the data into these different, when I put them into the different programs, whether it was Grok, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, DeepSeek, I think it was Perplexity that came up the winner. And the reason that I picked their plan, because most of them had similar sort of times and things like that, but the reason I chose their plan was because you were building up fitness, and then it would have like your fourth week, you're doing a little less of training, and then it goes back up. And when you're training or trying to get in shape, rest is like so important, that, you want to bring the body up to like a limit, let it rest, and then bring it back up. The other ones didn't have that. And I never really thought rest was a big deal. I'm starting to see how rest and recovery is such a big deal. I remember a story when I was at the Ironman in Kona after the race. The next day they have like a banquet, an awards banquet, that sort of thing. And I happened to be sitting, or we were sitting right near like some older guys. And I had a few drinks, and I go over to them and, hey, how old are you guys? They looked pretty old. And they were 80. I think one was 82, another was like 79. And so I started chatting with them, and I was quite amazed. Like, you're 82, 83 years old, something like that, and you're doing these Ironmans. What's your training look like? And I think the guy started getting into Ironmans in his 50s, if I can recollect what he was telling me. So he started late, and he said the biggest difference is rest and recovery. That when he was younger, he could go out and do, bike ride, the next day run, bike ride, keep it all up, pretty intense. But as you get older, the rest days, it's not a single rest day. It would be a couple days of rest, or even 3 days of rest. So he said the biggest part of his training was not the training, but just the rest. And there's so much to that. I even feel it myself now, is that if I take a day off or I take an extra day off, I haven't in this series of working out, but in the past, if I was feeling burnt out, just one day would make me feel so much better and so much stronger. Um, Man, this guy doesn't know how to drive, says the guy with the selfie stick talking. Um, so anyway, it, it was well, I know what I wanted to say about rest. So I felt today that, man, I don't know. I don't think it was rest so much as diet. When I was at LA Fitness, just working out, it was, pushing the weight was so exhausting. And I realized after, you know what, I really haven't eaten anything today. I should have had a banana or something. I had protein before I left, some leftover steak, but I didn't have anything else after that. And it was paying the price. So yeah, it wasn't rest, it was diet today, and then also all the driving around. The one thing I will say is I'm not yet used to the West Coast. And what I mean by that is that that I right now we're still in holiday mode, vacation mode when you get somewhere, and there's a really cool point in time where when you start living here, like where it's no longer I'm a guest, but you're actually living here. And we experienced that last year when we were in the Hollywood Hills for 3 months. You start living the life, and so we're not there yet. It's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks, but I will say, working on the West Coast time versus working on East Coast time and living on West Coast time, getting up early, starting early, and finishing early by 2 o'clock is 5 o'clock in the East Coast. It's awesome, man. Like 2 o'clock, your day's done. Now, I'm able to jump on the bike. I'm able to go to LA Fitness. And by the time I get home, it's 4 o'clock or earlier, especially if I can find a gym nearby. Anyway, I've got to get home. I've got a desk that arrived. I ordered yesterday, I built a chair, an office chair. The place we're in doesn't have like a desk or a chair. So I got the cheapest desk for, I think it was $19 from Walmart. So they're delivering it. And I got the cheapest chair, which I think was $35 from Walmart, and they delivered it. And in fact, that chair, what's so funny is it's so cheap, and I bought one that was a little bit more money for a home, and it was so cheap, but it's so awesome. Like it's so comfortable. So anyway, that's what I've got to do today, is build the furniture or the table. I've got the chair done. And then tomorrow, at least it's a run. I don't have to go to LA Fitness. And yeah, I'll leave a little video here that you can watch and of the bike ride. And if it's not at the end of this video, it will be at the beginning of the video.